All right, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to just take a real quick moment. I was working on some stuff, and I want to try to, as we get ready for the NFL draft and just future things with Lions Talk Live, working on a few things. And I did happen to get a tidbit. Maybe some of you have seen it through other media sources. But Marshan Nean, the pride of the Western Michigan Broncos, somebody I know the Duke crew and everybody who watches Lions Talk Live have heard me talk about for quite some time, even before the NFL Combine, how impressed I've been with his athleticism. If you watched the mock draft that I ran last week, where I just made the selections, did basically a real quick scenario where I broke down players, gave their personality traits, my thought process as to why, as a scout, I'd be selecting this person over this person, etc. Marshan Nean, if you paid attention to that video, you know I spoke a ton about him, how he was the best defensive end in the entire combine when it came to the cone drill, shuttle drill, the three-step technique, all those type of things. Reasons why I have a high grade on him. I think he's going to move up into the mid-second round, and there could be growing evidence that he could push beyond that. Marshan Nean is going to come to visit the Detroit Lions. It was announced about an hour and a half ago. But he's also, to be fair, after digging around and noticing, he's going to be visiting the Packers and about 15 teams outside of the Detroit Lions in total. So real quick, as I said, I wanted to work on some stuff. I'm going to give you guys real quick, see if I can just make this full screen here and shift myself down. Here's what I see when I watch him. And I think you can see the highlight on him, but I want you to pay attention to the initial burst, the ability to push through contact, and then displace. So, here, let me rewind this back here and before we get to the other angle. So I want you to watch his hand placement during the process. He takes on two guys, shifts the initial, then gets the second before he swims through and generates contact. Now I've got another one for you, a little highlighted here for you. Watch him just coming in. I mean, I can't tell you guys everything I see in just a couple of segments, but when I watch him, when I see the abilities, I think this guy is going to be an absolute problem once he gets some better technique and gets cleaned up. I think he's got the raw physical skills to be an NFL player, and a pretty good one. There you saw the spin. The only thing I'll say in fairness to that offensive lineman, I don't think the offensive lineman was great. You didn't see a lot of technique. You didn't see a lot of blocking soundness out of it. You didn't see great hand placement. When you go to the offensive lineman, I didn't see good footwork either. So I won't bore you guys with all that. I am trying to add more video to the show. So if you guys have any thoughts on it, let me know. I'm trying to do more things to make things interactive for you guys with Lions Talk Live, especially since next week I want to do that. What's a day in the life of a scout? Try to go through videos, show you guys what I see, what I look for, especially when I talk to you guys about, foot placement, hand placement, things like that, techniques, and, just things that really add up the nuances between player A and B, etc. So if you guys like those little video clips, please let me know in the comment section below or whatever. I'll try to incorporate more and more of that kind of stuff on it. All right, Chrome, what do you got? Yo, how you doing? Michael, still waiting on that J.C. Horn trade you said was happening? Well, I'd say, Michael, you weren't great at listening because I said they talked. And Michael, I know you and I have had a few chats before. Here's what I'm going to say. There's a difference between you going and looking at a car and you buying a car, right? Michael, every time you've gone on a date, have you married that person? I'm going to guess probably not, but maybe you have. Maybe that's you. You talk to somebody once and say, hey, I'm here to marry him. What you're going to have to learn, Michael, if you get involved in sports, is that usually teams talk to other teams. Teams talk to players. This does not mean just because I talk to you, I'm going to draft you. I mean, we all know the Lions have talked to lots of players and didn't draft them. So, Michael, are you here to tell me and everybody watching that every player the Lions bring in for an interview, they have to draft? Let me know in your thoughts in the comment section below, Michael. All right, Hatman. Hey, Coach, hope you enjoyed today. I did, man. Had a great one. Chrome, great potential. Yeah, I think if you get him a little bit more coaching, he's going to be pretty good. Mr. Nigo, yes, we're getting a scout video. Yeah, let's freaking go. Yeah, and if you guys saw me put that video up there at the start of the show, let me know. I'm going to try to incorporate more things like that. I just got to find out how to do it on the live streams. What I just did there, that seems to be the best way to do it, but it's also going to require me having a lot of videos preset before we get on. So again, let me know your thoughts. Moonscar, what up, Coach? What up with you, man? How are you doing? Hey, man, like your videos? Good, man. I'm down with that. I'll try to keep adding you more and more in. Brent, sounds like he's somewhat of a project. He is, but I think I'm going to guess we aren't the only ones seeing his real potential, what he has. And again, just looking at the scouting combine, you look at his size, you look at his mass, you look at his, his strengths, just going through all that. He's rare, in my opinion, when it comes to stuff like that. So, it just, in my opinion, but I think he's worth taking because of what you ultimately can get. Now, if you were needing him to come in day one and become a huge impact, that's probably not going to be ideal. But I think if you can bring him along slowly, a little bit here, a little bit there. I mean, I compare not him, but I compare a lot of people to Robert Porsche in that it took Porsche probably really about 2 seasons before he became the dominant force he was for the Detroit Lions and throughout the NFL. Lone what we got? Remember, Dan is not sitting next to Brad Holmes. You're good, Dan. Yeah, no worries, man. I get there's always going to be haters, and it just remind people when they say stuff like that, hey, man, just because 2 teams talk doesn't mean they make a trade. And probably I'd say that's more probably a statement towards Michael being new to sports, perhaps, where just because you went and tried out for the team doesn't mean you make the team. So perhaps Michael has never tried out for a team before. All right, Mr. Nico, MCDT got grit. There you go. I'll go with that. There you go, and thanks that. Joseph, what do you got? Really enjoyed the video on the WMU player. Would like to see such videos on other selections. Yeah, I'll see what I can do, man, to incorporate them more and more in. I think with the scouting video, it's going to be more and more possible as I learn some of these techniques with the video processing materials, at least as far as streaming them to you guys. It'd be one thing if we're all sitting in a house and going through it. That's easy. Getting it onto a live video without running into some of the issues that you would run into with, copyrights and set. That's the tough one. Hammond, personally, I would take either Kneedland or D. Robinson. Yeah, I think, Robinson's probably a little bit more ready right now. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. But I think Kneedland, in the long run, man, I see some real possibilities with him. So, all right, I'm going to get out of your guys' hair. See you in the morning. If you like the video, please consider hitting the thumbs up button. Otherwise, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. If you want, the Duke Crew in the morning show is from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And love to see you guys there. Take care. Enjoy your night. And we'll see you on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.